Alright, so disconnects will happen. That's one reality of playing Star Citizen. You just have to expect a disconnect. It will come. The servers are still very much in their infancy, and we have a ton of people trying out the game for the first time, so that's great. And I'm definitely happy about that because the more people who are involved basically with this game, the more money it could receive and the more it can be developed, etc., etc. Now, of course, we've all heard about um, the issues surrounding the game and its timeliness and how long it's taken to develop. But nothing of this scale has been attempted before, and for a very long time, the game actually didn't have a full staff. The team's constantly growing. I had checked the Cloud Imperium Games website about 2 months ago, and they were still aggressively hiring people in important positions in the company to continue game development. They do much of their U.S. based development in Texas. So, with the COVID outbreak and all of that, naturally, that's going to throw a wrench in things. Um, so, yeah, guess the best thing we can do is be patient. But to be honest, I completely understand the vexations of backers who've been backing this game much longer than I have. So I guess looks like I got put right back where it was. Now the downside to this is I'm going to have to the downside to this is I'm going to have to basically reclaim my ship. But yeah, morning sun is coming and it's on the horizon. I also love the soundtrack of this game. I'm just gonna shut up for a bit and just let you take in the ambience. Alright. And these are the nest apartments. This is where you will spawn here in Microtech. Also notice I've got some tearing going on. I thought I had enabled VSync. I did. Frame rate's too high, I guess. Probably bump it up on high then. Kinda turn down the frame rate a bit so I don't get that annoying tearing. You really see it on this floor though, like whenever you're in front of an elevator or something, because there's not a lot going on. And then in busier parts of the game, you don't really see it as much. You don't see it at all when you're flying. It's like only when you're in a spawn zone. So yeah, we're in Aspire Grand, the hotel here, apartment complex, and that's where we came from, up there. So this entire planet is owned by a single corporation, and they rent their space out to smaller firms. So Microtech is the mega corporation that owns this planet. And every Mr. Train.
Capsule now approaching station.
But you don't have to wait long. That's one nice thing. Look. As soon as I sat down, there was another train coming. Like, the transit system in New Babbage is amazing. You really don't need a car to get around. But yeah, so multiple planets in this game are owned by corporations. So Microtech, the name of the planet, is owned by Microtech. Hurston is owned by Hurston Dynamics, a industrious corporation. Microtech is more of a tech firm. They're like if Apple was in the year 2950. This is Microtech. Incredibly high technology, and maybe I'll do a video in which we explore more of the actual campus. But most of you probably already are familiar with New Babbage. But then again, if you're familiar with New Babbage, you're probably familiar with all of these ships, and you don't need to be here. So the only people that are still watching at this point are people who don't even have the game installed. So I guess for your sake, I will do another New Babbage tour. I did one on Twitch actually and streamed it, but that was a long time ago, and I don't know if I could even pull the video anymore because it was so long ago. So I'll probably have to do just a fresh recording. At least I'll be doing it with more RAM anyway. So as you can see, we've got the corporate logo, Microtech iconography there. This used to not have that bug where the text is just all like shoved together. But ever since like version 3.9, I think, that's something that CIG hasn't fixed yet. So egg on face. She looks nice. Yeah, every new update they do something cool with the NPCs. There it is. Retrieve. Oh nice, they didn't make me incur a penalty because I got DC'd.
Tired of travel? Why not rest at the next newly renovated?
Alright, we're going to Hangar 10. But before we do that, beautiful. This planet is cold as hell. Just so you guys know, if you step outside in like a flight suit, you can survive for about 10 minutes before you freeze to death. And the reason why this planet is so cold is there was a terraforming experiment that went horribly wrong, and it just like screwed up Microtech's atmosphere. And here we are, back in the hangar. And in the previous video, before we were disconnected, we had all of this good stuff going on. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no. I can tell the elevator to do stuff. Get on! Alright. Okay, we are on the ship. Close chat for a bit. Kind of obscuring my view. Oh, flight ready. That's what I wanted to capture. Alright, comlink, friends, New Babbage International Spaceport. International. Well, like, in interstellar. Moving from continent to continent isn't too difficult in these crafts. But you don't fly as fast as you think. I mean, these ships are really built for spacefaring, in all honesty. Alright, frame rate.
Takeoff complete. Collision alert. Stop. Collision alert. Rear.
And we're out. Maybe just something with this ship, because normally you can just lift. You don't have to deal with that much trouble or headache. Alright. Full burn. Yeah, your engine can and will overheat. You gotta invest in the right intercooler, basically. But launch angle doesn't really have much of an effect on our ships as of yet. Like, it doesn't really affect velocity. So the fastest way to reach escape velocity is to move at a 90-degree angle. So we got another player coming in. Whenever a new player enters your field, alright, so as you can see, radar starting to turn, or not the radar, but our angle of ascent. I think it's called attitude, something like that. But yeah, you just want to get the angle just right, and then you just let it rock. And as you can see, the curvature of the planet, the city, and we're going straight up, which you would never do with today's technology. You would always launch at an angle. You would never go straight up. Like, it looks like you go straight up, but these space shuttles and rockets actually don't. They follow the curvature of the planet, and that saves you a lot of fuel and frame stress. So now we relax, and I'm going to use the bathroom while the ship is shooting into the sky. So we are at 23,000 meters. I believe these are meters. I'm going to pan the camera here, and I'm going to let the recording run while I use the bathroom. Okay. The difference a couple of minutes make. And it looks like gravity is starting to affect us just a bit. I feel like the ship is starting to pull towards Microtech, but as you can see, it's gorgeous. Um, Very beautiful planet, and the entire planet is not covered with snow, which actually surprised me. I thought the entire planet was frozen, but there's tundra deep bits. That's the, if I'm saying that right. But anyway, whenever your altitude counter disappears, you are officially beyond gravity. Like, there's no chance of you being pulled back into the atmosphere. We're now in orbit. So I'm deaccelerating now. And decouple. And then that way, I can look at the planet while I'm still deaccelerating. And that is our space station. Alright, so we are now at absolute zero. And I want to get rotation to stop. And we're going to leave. Alright, so we're now in orbit. We're now doing the thing that this ship was designed for. So we're going to go ahead and get in the top turret here. ESP active. So as you can see, this is the rear of the ship. Very nice view of it. I'm going to go ahead, power the turret on, and as you can see,
Welcome to Roberts Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
we're free to test weapons out here because we're beyond any restricted zone. So as you can see, got ourselves some twin cannons here. And then our degree of direction. And then this will increase or decrease our turning speed, looks like. No, it actually doesn't. So what does this do? Not exactly sure.
Weapons system critical.
So there's IR there. Yeah, no. Not exactly sure what that does. Every update they're adding something new, but I can't tell you anything about that. Alright. But yeah. That's Top Gun. And Belly Gun. Now while these turrets are in use, if one of these things were to get taken out, you would have explosive decompression of the bridge. So, best way to get around that problem
Enjoy the ride. System check.
is get everyone in their combat suits, decompress the entire ship, engage the enemy, or run away, and then when the coast is clear, repressurize, seal any breach turrets, because as you can see, the turrets themselves are sealed once they're not in use. There's like a little door that closes. So like you can still see the outside, but there's like a little door. and that should help. But it probably needs like a hard bulkhead sill, or you just wouldn't be able to use the bridge. Well, I mean, you could use the bridge because, like, this little reinforcement beam, which is what a lot of people who fly this ship hate, is just covered in glass. So, but then accessing the bridge, you would basically have to treat this door like an airlock if it was breached. And then of course you have this, but this has a hard bulkhead sealing it. And then here we are in the cargo hold. So let's hope I don't clip on anything. Oh, perfect. We are adrift, and we are at peace. And these look like nasty rocket pods. And I usually, when I'm looking at a ship, I love to do spacewalks because you can observe every fine detail of the ship in a way that you can't do in Atmo. So we can just really appreciate the technology, the power. This cannon just looks like it'll put a hole in the sun. And these look like rocket pods. And they are rocket pods. Beautiful, beautiful rocket pods. And then this is our top airlock. So if we were docking with a larger ship or a space station, we could use that little hatch right there to get in. And then this is of course our engine ports, which are currently not active because we don't need to move them. And we're in vacuum anyway, so I don't really see how turbines would be useful. And then this is of course our ship from the outside. So the thing I love about this game is how everything is so persistent. Alright. So dropping in there is risky. Very risky. Using the elevator is very risky. Anytime you're using 0G, it's risky. But let's go for it. Once I cross the gravity threshold, I will fall. So ideally, what I want to do is I want to get myself over the hull and just drop. Oh! Think I may have broke some bones with that one. Ouch. That looked painful. But yeah, RSI Andromeda. You know, I didn't explore much of the underbelly as much, but that's okay because we're going to do that now. Yes, these ships have gravity generators, obviously. Alright.
Your adventure, courtesy of Kruger Intergalactic. Systems active.
Nice. We got ourselves a Kruger Intergalactic, boys. Can I latch, or is that still not a feature this ship has? Exit ship, power off. Yeah, there's nothing that came up in the panel, so disappointing. I've got to wait till a future update before I can use my Kruger Intergalactic ship. So I guess we have to explore the underbelly the hard way. yeah, going out into zero G, easy. Easiest thing you'll ever do. You'll never have a problem. Never have a problem. But the moment you go from zero G to gravity, that's when dangerous things can happen. Very dangerous things. You can clip. You can rubber band like I did. There's a lot that can go wrong. I would love to see this ship just fire its its entire missile payload, because it has rocket pods on the top and bottom, twin cannons on the top and bottom, two sets of missile pods on the sides. Like this ship has a very powerful hit and run capability, and it's also capable of traveling at a speed of about 647 meters a second, which is pretty damn fast. Okay. I actually, just out of curiosity, I want to calculate that. So I mean, we just escaped the planet's gravity in like 4 minutes. It usually takes about 8 minutes for you to leave Earth with current technology. Chris Roberts says Star Citizen is not a pipe dream. Ah, article disappeared. I was reading that, Google. Whatever. I gotta get back to what I was supposed to be doing. Alright, so at 647 meters a second, you'd be going about 1.2 kilometers every 2 seconds. So if we're gonna do a hourly rate, we just take that out. 647 times 60 seconds, and then we would multiply that by 60 minutes. 2.3 million kilometers in an hour. Okay. So, for comparison, if I pull up Google Maps, just curious here. This is probably easier to do on my phone. Not my phone, my computer. Let's see. 2.3 million kilometers. Just Google it. Let's see what pops up. And we're seeing space stuff. We're seeing space stuff. So here's the thing. All right, so Deep Space One had made it about 2.3 million miles, 3.7 million kilometers from Earth, and that's considered deep space. And it was traveling 1.7 kilometers per second. So this ship does 1.2 kilometers. So yeah, I mean, in an hour you could be how far is the moon from Earth? Okay, Google. How far is the moon from the Earth in kilometers? Okay, you're giving me a Wikipedia article. Okay, so it's 384,000 kilometers, which means you could go to the moon and back to Earth in much less than an hour. Because the distance between Earth and the moon is only 380,000 kilometers, which is really, really impressive. Okay, this ship is fast. All right, this ship is fast. But anyway, enough of that. We've put all of that stuff in perspective. We've explored the RSI, Constellation Andromeda. Maybe I'll run a few missions with it just to see. Alright, we're dropping. Easy. Easy clap. So, I think the nice bits are towards the poles. It's a Shubin mining facility. Yeah, let's warp out the OM5.
Bottom drive is now up.
And that's just 1,000 kilometers.
Quantum drive is now off.
Yeah, of course, with quantum drive, you can get to the moon pretty easily. Alright. Let's go ahead. Full burn. Yeah, it's like a patch of planet that's tundra. It's not snow. And I don't even know which part of the planet it is because I've discovered it accidentally once. But we are in full burn right now. And we're going 910 meters a second. Holy shit. We're going even faster than what I originally predicted or estimated. This ship is nuts. But yeah, this is definitely another crew ship. Now there isn't much to do on the ship if you're not a crew member, but consider like this little Kruger ship that's attached to it. Like imagine, you know, coming to a planet, preferably one with pretty thin atmosphere, and one of your crewmates just hops in this baby, does some recon flights, and then reports back. I wonder what kind of sensors the Kruger will have. And it could also be a useful escape ship too, if worse comes to worse. But I don't really see there being too many ships that can punch out the Andromeda. I still want to get my hands on the Phoenix though, but it didn't win. It didn't win any. It didn't win the election, so. So yeah, I'm heading for a sun setting part. planet. And these dark bits here may be clouds. Yeah, they're clouds. Because some of them are over the frozen waters. And quantum fuel is at 99%. It's a nice little feature too. And if you look at the planet itself, you can start to see how the sun is cascading on those mountains. Because there it is, Stanton. One thing I wish they fixed is the galaxy map because navigating it is so rough. But yeah, we are on the edge of the solar system. So about here, where CRU-L3 is a good distance from the sun. I would think it'd be like the habitable zone, but it's actually where ArcCorp is located. That's where the habitable zone is. And Delamar is just not a habitable planet, so fuck it. Same thing with Crusader. I think you need suits for both of those. Hurston is in the habitable zone though, but Hurston has just been blown to smithereens by weapons tests, and so that's not safe to breathe in the air on that planet. So it's taken me a little minute to get back to Microtech, and the reason being is because I'm not approaching it from the same angle that I left it. So New Babbage is close to the equator of the planet, and if you know anything about spaceflight, the equatorial regions of the planet are the prime locations for space travel because you get the most free energy. Basically, the Earth spins, so the point at which the spinning is fastest is, of course, the equator. And I live in Florida, so we have Kennedy Space Center right here in my home state, and just launching from there gives you a ton of free speed, which means that you don't need as much fuel to reach escape velocity, and you leave the planet faster. But if you're doing what I'm doing now and you're landing at an angle, it takes longer because the planet curves. So instead of me aiming for the planet's bloated belly, I'm going for, its sternum or something. And that's why it's taking so long. But you can see more and more of the planet to come into view. And then once I land, I'll probably have... Oh! See, I don't know if I'm actually going to see the sunrise because I don't know which direction this planet rotates. Because I'm in orbit, okay? Which means I'm still spinning. I'm still spinning with the planet, you know? So clouds are moving to the left, which means the planet is spinning to the right. Or the clouds are just moving to the left. So if I'm right, this is actually morning. If I'm wrong, then I'll actually see a sunset instead of a sunrise, which is what I'm hoping for. So we can save some fuel and go ahead and decouple, and that way we'll save some fuel. Now this ship is extremely fuel efficient. Like our hydrogen fuel is still at 100%, and we left the planet and are now returning to the planet. So that puts everything in perspective, just how fuel efficient this thing is. And you want fuel efficiency, especially when you're in space. And that's my cat. And if you want to know what she looks like, look at my profile picture and you will see Freya's lovely eyes, Freya's lovely fur, because that's her name. I didn't name her that. A friend of mine did. And I, you know, took her into my care and custody. But I always thought that was a pretty name. So now we wait. Oh no, it's possible that I'm getting DC'd again because I'm leaving. Okay, we're getting flashes of Atmo. That's good news. We are re-entering. And there it is. Crushed. Crushed. At least we have re-entry effects, which is something we didn't have before. But anyway, alright, that's it for the RSI. I'm going to move on to another ship. So I'm going to go ahead, end the recording, and whatever I decide next, I'll pick it up again.